You know, you were saying this months ago. You give people money not to work, they're not going to work. And we saw that in the jobs number that came out a week ago.
7 million jobs open, and last month, only 260-some thousand were filled. It doesn't take a genius to figure this out. If you pay people not to work, you shouldn't be surprised when you can't find workers. So that's the problem, and these governors are reacting to what every single employer across our district that I've talked to, across our state, frankly around the country that I've had a chance to visit with, every single one says they can't find people to work. They're hiring as anyone that they can find, but they just can't find these people. So I think this is just good common sense and telling the Biden administration it's time to knock this stuff off.
Sure. Plus, there have been states that have said, OK, if you're going to draw this extra money, unemployment, you've actually got to go out and look for work. And if you're offered a job, you've got to take it. And suddenly, those states, the number of people who are taking jobs is going up.
Yeah, imagine that. When you incentivize work, you get more work. When you disincentivize it, you get less of it. It doesn't take, again, this is just good old-fashioned common sense, but something, frankly, that seems to be in short supply with the Biden administration.
Speaking of the Biden administration, Congressman, why did they change the suggestion that from the CDC yesterday at 2:08 in the afternoon that if you are fully vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask outside? Why did they decide to do it yesterday? Because earlier in the day, Fauci and Walensky both said you still have to wear a mask.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys were touched on this earlier. This is poll-driven. I mean, look, this is they always say trust the science, but we know what it's been. It's been trust the polls, trust the teachers union. Remember, it was just a few weeks into the administration where we got the emails now where Dr. Walensky was talking with the head of the AFT about guidance for schools, basically taking what the teachers union said versus what the doctors at CDC were saying. So this has always been all over the place and driven by politics. I think it was what Dr. Fauci initially, it was no mask, then one mask, then two masks, then back to one mask, and of course yesterday no mask again. So they've been all over the board with this and a host of other policies. And I think what Americans most troubled by is the double standard, the idea that Gavin Newsom can have go to a restaurant, five-star restaurant with lobbyists and not wear a mask, but we couldn't even have Thanksgiving with our family. So all this bothers Americans, and they're done with it all.
Sure. What about the double standard in the House of Representatives? Because the CDC says you don't have to wear a mask indoors, but the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, says the rule stands. You need to wear a mask.
Yeah, she hasn't changed it. Now, at least there was some this week, at least now when you're speaking, you can take the mask off, for goodness sake. That's a step in the right direction. So I hope we get back to normal. I hope we get back to common sense as soon as possible. And frankly, remember, for the past year, every single liberty you enjoy under the First Amendment has been assaulted by government, starting with your right to assemble. Today, people still can't get into their capital to petition their representative to redress their grievances, and a host of other issues that are real concerns about your fundamental liberties under the First Amendment.
The Republicans in Congress are going to assemble later today to figure out who's going to be the new number 3. Liz Cheney was voted out by her conference on Wednesday. Now, we've heard that Elise Stefanik obviously up for that number 3 spot, but apparently Congressman Chip Roy is going to challenge her. What sort of a prediction do you have about what's going to happen?
Well, both great members and friends of mine, but Elise is going to win. I think she's going to win in a strong way. Look, Elise is endorsed by President Trump, endorsed by Leader McCarthy, Whip Scalise. She has my support. She's got an A+ rating with the NRA. She's been endorsed by Susan B. Anthony List, so strong on the life issue. And most importantly, she's an effective communicator. We saw that during the impeachment a year and a half ago. So that's what we need, someone who will speak for the party, who will speak for the 90% of the party who understands where we need to go, and frankly, someone who I think can help broaden the appeal of the Republican Party. So Elise is going to win, and I think she's going to do a great job as the conference chair going forward.
All right. Should be an election later today. We'll have the results later. All right, Congressman, thank you.
You bet, Steve. Thank you.